Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another brand new video and we're going to be taking a look at the latest Minecraft 1.17 snapshot. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Any support would be very much appreciated, and let's hop right on into this. So if I round this corner here, we will see the first thing we're going to see when we load into our 1.17 worlds. If you go mining, you might just encounter these. Now these here are all amethyst, and these are found inside a new biome called an amethyst geode. So you have the standard block of amethyst here, which is a really nice purple block, and fun fact about this, if I'm quiet for a second, you'll hear this is actually a musical block, both when you're placing and breaking it. So that's a really good thing to know, a little bit of fun to play about with. However, more importantly than that, we have this new addition here. So if you were to find this here, budding amethyst, which is slightly different to this, it's the same kind of block, but this here has a kind of texture in the middle, which is what makes it different. And in terms of being practical, this one here is very different. So you see I have these sticking off of this block here. We have small amethyst bud, large amethyst bud, medium amethyst bud, and amethyst cluster. Now these will all be found on this here budding amethyst, and on this they will grow. So they will go from small to medium to large and then into a cluster, and a cluster is what you can mine to get yourself shards. And it also, speaking of making it so that if you silk touch any of these, you'll get it at the layer it's at. So if you want to grab a small amethyst bud, for example, you can get it. Or if you want to grab the cluster like this and move it from budding over to normal, you can do that as well. But naturally, you're only going to find any of these crystals, or buds as they're called, on this here. Now, they don't just spawn as like a ton of purple blocks out of nowhere. They do have surroundings in a natural Minecraft world. So if we look here, we have got this block here, which is called tuff. Now this is the outermost layer of an amethyst geode. This is what you'll see in your stone when you're about to stumble upon one of these. After you break through that layer of tuff though, you will be met with a layer of calcite. And this here is going to be the final layer between you and getting to these beautiful amethyst blocks that you are after. Now I'm going to quickly swap over to a normal Minecraft world and show you exactly what one of these will look like if you find them naturally. Alright guys, here I am loading into a normal Minecraft world. I am in spectator mode, and if I was to fly beneath the surface here, we will see there is one there. You can kind of see through the mine shaft. There is one there. There's one there. There's a couple in the distance over there. These things are pretty easy to find in spectator mode, so we're just going to go to the one directly beneath us because that's the easiest one to access. And if I was to quickly hop in to creative mode, you will see that here's this layer of tuff I was talking about. You then have your layer of calcite, and if we come in here, this big spherical thing here is indeed the amethyst geode. If you see in F3 here, it will say that my biome is actually snowy mountains, but this is the amethyst geode. So yeah, this is a pretty cool addition. I really like the fact that even when you walk on it, it is a musical block. It sounds really, really nice, and I'm really looking forward to going mining and stumbling upon some of these. However, a lot more is getting added to this update than just this amethyst. So let's hop back onto the test world and have a look at what else is being added. Alright, so I am back on my test world now, and I'm going to show you what might be one of the most complicated ores in this game so far, and you'll see exactly why when I get into this. So the new ore that they're adding is copper. So when you're out mining, you're mining away, you will find this here ore. And this is copper ore, and it's kind of similar to iron and gold in the sense that when you find it, you've got to smelt it, and once you smelt it, you'll get yourself a copper ingot. Pretty simple to start with, right? You're thinking, Timmy, what is so confusing about this? Well, this is where it starts to get confusing. So you get these ingots, and with these ingots, you're going to want to craft you some blocks. And it's quite simple, 4 on a crafting table, yet again, like a lot of blocks. But this is where it changes. Once you have it in this block form here, if you were to place it and leave it down, it will actually slowly oxidize, which is what it does in real life, and it will start to turn green. And this is stage 2, so this is called lightly weathered copper. And then this is stage 3, which is semi-weathered copper. And this here is the final stage where it's fully weathered copper. Fun fact actually, if you take a look at the Statue of Liberty, it wasn't always green. It actually started out as this beautiful copper colour, but over time it oxidised and turned into this here. Fun fact. However, this block here isn't exactly the most useful of them all, if I'm being completely honest with you. This here is just your starting block. If you want to get into crafting stairs, slabs and everything, you're going to need to get yourself cut copper. Yet again, so simple, 4 in a crafting table will get you cut copper, which is actually a really nice block, and exactly the same as the copper normal through here, it too will oxidise into 4 different forms. You've got normal, lightly weathered, semi-weathered and fully weathered. And from this here, you're able to craft yourself stairs, yet again all 4 forms of it. You can craft yourself slabs too, yet again all 4 forms of it. So you might be taking a look at all these new blocks and thinking, right, these are kind of cool, Sammy, but I want to keep mine as normal copper, or I want to use, you know, the semi-weathered because I want a more rustic texture, etc. I don't want it to go fully green. Now for all it takes like 80 Minecraft days and it'll look nice and all that, it's not what you're after. If you want to keep it in a certain form, this is actually possible. And they've finally given a new use to the 1.15 Bees update where they added honeycomb. That's right. So if I was to take this here cut copper and I was to take honeycomb and I was to come over to a crafting table, if I put you next to you, I will get waxed cut copper. Now this here will not ever change colour. This will now forever stay as this colour of block, which is actually really useful because I'm sure lots of people want to keep it in this form or its other forms for builds. So this does apply to normal cut copper, lightly cut and normal cut copper, lightly weathered, semi-weathered. However, you cannot do this with fully weathered because of course this isn't going to change, so you don't need it. One quick thing to note, if we come over here, they don't look any different. So looking at this, I don't know what one's weathered and what one's not, but if I was to middle click here, this one is the waxed one and this one is unwaxed, but they look exactly the same. There's no way of telling any kind of difference. So this is going to be a really interesting block, and I'm sure this will create some really nice block palettes for future builds. But yet again, this isn't all they're adding. There's so much more cool stuff coming to 1.17. So let's take a trip over to that big blue section over there and see what's happening. Now I know we've looked at Amethyst and we've looked at copper, but that's not all you're going to see when you go mining. You're also going to encounter this. This here is dripstone, and I'm so excited to see what builders do with dripstone, because looking at this, you can make some awesome constructions out of it. But there's so much more to it than just the building aspect. It actually has one feature in particular which is extremely practical, and nothing else in the game can do this. It's now possible to have an infinite lava source. So if you look here, we all know how to do infinite water sources. If I grab a water bucket quickly, if I want infinite water, I can do like the 1, 2, 3, that and that, and grab from there is infinite. Or I can do, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, bang, that's infinite. But it's not possible to have an infinite lava source yet, until now. All you need is one lava bucket, like this, and then a dripstone block, a pointed dripstone, which is what this here is. And if you put a cauldron beneath that, the lava will seep through the dripstone, through the pointed dripstone, and into your cauldron, where you can pick it up with a bucket and run away and burn your friends with it. And this is not going to run out. This is infinite, so this is officially the first way to get an infinite lava source in Minecraft. That is such a practical feature, and I'm sure a lot of you will be using that in your survival worlds. Something really interesting about it is it can actually be broken with a wooden pickaxe only. Now I've got jobs turned off in this world, but I'm going to put a clip on the screen quickly of me in that open world where you can see you can actually break it with just a wooden pickaxe. Really cool feature. finally, one thing I'm going to look at here is if I was to break this one, and then the top one here, you'll notice this will actually fall. Like so. And this thing, by the way, it hurts. If I fly to the top quickly, / game mode survival, if I fall onto this, this will do 4.5 hearts. Now I've got good regen in this world, but if I was to go game mode creative quickly, to put that into perspective, normally from this height I would take 2.5 and it goes up to 4.5, so it's an extra 2 hearts of damage, and as you go higher it just gets more and more and more. You do not want to be landed on this thing. Plus, if you get underneath it when it falls, that also hurts a lot, so you do not want to be involved in that. So be careful around these things, but they're so useful. I would definitely be picking them up when you see them. Now, this is cool and everything, but it's not really going to help you if you want a secret base, is it? So let's go have a look at something that will help with that. That is right, guys, I am talking about powdered snow. So this here is just some black concrete with some white snow surrounding it. That is right, guys, I am talking about powdered snow. So this here is just some black concrete with some powdered snow in the middle of it. But what's special about powdered snow is it's actually a trap block, so I can stand inside this. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's cool and everything, but how practical is it? Well, look at this here. This looks perfectly normal, right? And this is very small scale, bear in mind. Obviously, this could be a huge mountain. This looks normal, but what you can do is you can go up here, and this one here is powdered snow. It's actually a trap block, so I can go through this into my secret base where I hide all my biggest secrets that you guys can't know. Oh, well, I mean, you were not meant to see that. Moving on. So the way you get this block normally is if you place a cauldron and let it snow down, and then use your bucket, you can pick it up and place it like so. Now, one thing that's actually really cool about this is a new animation / feature of this. So if I go back into survival quickly, and I step inside this here, you'll notice at the corners of my screen here, I start to have frost coming on. Not only does this look awesome, but it actually does damage. But that's not where it stops. If you keep an eye on my hearts when I start to take damage here, which will happen in just a little second, they go blue. These are so cool looking. I love how these look. It's just probably one of my favourite things about it actually. It's so simple, but how these hearts look is awesome. Doesn't do that much, and as I said on the dripstone, I have quite high regen in this world, but it's such a cool feature. Plus, if I step out of it quickly, I get a really cool pan out animation as I'm thawing out. So yeah, overall, probably one of my favourite additions actually, and a big shout out to Pear for putting me on to the fact that this is a trap block. It's definitely something that I don't feel like had quite enough attention when it came out, because it's so useful. Anyways, on to the final thing we're going to cover in today's episode. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is candles. So candles, as you can see here, can come in either a 1, a 2, a 3 or a 4 per block. Very similar to sea pickles, which are already in the game. You can get these in all 16 colours of dye you can make. Plus, it also comes in this colour at standard. But to see where they come at standard, you'll have to tune into episode 2. Now, to light these, you want to use either a fire charge or a flint and steel, as usual for lighting things on fire. However, the best part of it all is you can put candles on cakes. This here just sums it up for me. This is perfect addition to the game. We all know the best use for cakes in Minecraft is to place them at your friend's base on their birthday. Well, now you can give them a little candle to make it that bit more heartfelt. And just at that, we'll end it for today. So I hope you've all enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Any support would be very much appreciated. That is all from me for the day though. I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.